Hey guys, how is it going? How are we all enjoying the dystopian world? Speaking of the dystopian world that we are living in, I watched Citizen Vigilante the other night. It was on X for free to watch, I think for 24 hours. Um, so I had a look. I checked it out. I kind of knew already, what it was about, and I've seen a few clips and things. But I thought, hey, I'll watch the whole thing. And see what's going on there. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I think, to say early on is it's. I want to use the word like low budget, but it is quite a low budget film, which is fine. I love a bit of low budget, but the film itself isn't masterfully crafted and insanely well acted and stuff like that. It isn't. But that's not really the point of this film. There's some really weird scenes in it as well. But the point of this film, the most important thing about this film is how this is kind of a piece of this swing back that we're seeing. This is kind of a part of we're beginning to see very, very slowly a swing back in the pendulum. And from what I understand, it's always gone like this through history. It swings back and forth and back and forth, and it comes from the whole strong men. Strong men create good times. What do good times create? Well, they create soft people because everybody gets comfortable living in this safe society that the strong men who sacrificed so much had created. And what does that allow to do? The good times, the soft people, it allows bad things to happen because nobody's stopping them from happening. So bad things begin to happen. And then what happens? The bad things come along. From that, strong men begin to emerge and the cycle repeats itself. And we are seeing at the minute this swing back now, and we're starting to have conversations that never would have happened 10 to 15 years ago. To have conversations like remigration openly, as we're hearing on the radio, on TV, a lot of the politicians, it's their top message is remigration. Every single politician, their top message is about immigration, isn't it? Every single one. So this is a part of it, I believe. This film that I can't even say his name, Uwe Boll has created with Armie Hammer. It's a part of that. It's another reflection of how people are feeling who are being hidden down. They're not allowed to speak. Exactly as Uwe Boll says, as soon as you say anything, the absolute slightest criticism of immigration or anything like that that's going on, basically you're going against that narrative, that message. The second you do that, you are hit with every name under the sun. You're a Nazi, you're a fascist, you're a phobe, you're an ism, you're all of these things. But that is starting to lose its effect now. It's like when you use a word so many times, after a while it ceases to have a meaning. And I've actually watched this great interview this morning with Uwe Boll on I'll show you this YouTube channel in a sec. We'll just show a bit of it, but I would say go and watch the whole interview because it's great. And we're now at the stage where people are starting to have the confidence to say what they're really feeling. And it's very interesting. It's a very interesting time. And this film is certainly a reflection of that. Having said that, like I say, the film itself, there's some really strange scenes in it. I was watching it and I was like, this is weird. What are they doing here? There's a couple of really weird scenes. Like there's one where I think he goes in, he's like having sex with this prostitute, and it goes on for ages. And I was just like, what is the point of this scene? Where is this going? And then at the end of it, when he's sort of finished with her, he starts commenting on the room that he's in. He's like, oh, do you, when you're finished with your clients, do you normally open the windows after they shower? And she's like, no, why? And he's like, well, there's black mold on the ceiling. And she's like, why do you care? And he's like, well, I own this building. It's just weird. What other scene was it? There's another weird scene in it where he is in the car. I think he kidnaps this politician. That's a good thing about this film. He's not just going after the perpetrators. He's also going after the politicians and the people who are in power that are promoting this destruction of the West to happen. So he's in the car with this guy and he speeds through these traffic lights, which causes, and I think he's on the wrong side of the road, which causes this other car to like crash and flip upside down. And he's like, see that guy? He was so desperate to obey the law and not get in trouble that he stayed on the same side of the road until he crashed. I'm like, he just kind of killed an innocent person there. It's very strange, very, very strange. It's like they're trying to give him flaws, so he's not, you know, he's a bit of an anti-hero. He's not perfect. It's strange. Some of those bits I just found a bit strange. But the messaging here is the feeling of, I'm going to say, the majority of people. It really is. You know, we've had enough. We've had enough of being treated like this, and that's what happens to him in the film. He sees all these things going on. The film, like, it shocks me actually. It opens so quick with this brutal attack on this woman, where she's just walking down the street. This guy runs up behind her. It's a sort of African-looking guy, whatever, Somalian maybe. Stabs her in the neck, like whoosh, straight in the neck, blood everywhere. She's lying on the floor dying. The kid's going like, mummy, what's wrong? Oh, it's horrific. And I was like, Jesus, I wasn't expecting that so soon. And it kind of sparks his sort of revenge that he goes on, and he just starts taking these people out. But it's so on the nose. There's no like ambiguity to it at all. When he's in this house with these migrants, he's basically saying to them, do you know what I think? I don't think we're getting the good ones. I think we're getting all the bad ones. And he's gone to these people who've assaulted this woman, and he's saying, you know, you're not sorry about it. You've not been punished. And then he's got the women there, and he's saying to the women, you know, you're protecting these guys. What do you think about this? And the women start saying, well, the girls, you know, in the West, they dress really slutty and it makes the men horny. And he just takes everyone out. He kills everyone in the room. Like, it is very brutal, very on the nose. Just want to show you a little clip, a couple of clips of this little interview. This is Lauren Shen, YouTuber. So if you want to go and check out the whole interview, and I would suggest that you do, because it's a great interview. And you really get the feeling that Uwe Boll is like, he's pissed off, like the rest of us, pissed off of being ignored and being called names. And this is like his reaction to that. He's in a position where he can create films. He's got the finances to put a film out there, and also to not care that everyone's coming at him. You know, they're calling him Nazis, and he's saying that's the point. You know, as soon as you talk back, as soon as you put any pushback on this, you're called every name under the sun. He says, and I don't like that. So he is in a position where he can actually kind of begin to voice what a lot of people are thinking. So just check out a little bit of this interview. I've tried to get it a bit here, where he really kind of he really makes a great point about what he's saying.
Young migrants, are not getting really prosecuted. The people getting off the hook. And there was a case in Hamburg in Germany 3 years ago where 12 young migrants, like, they didn't even went to jail, and they are free, and they live in the same city as the young girl they raped. And that's this kind of protection of the perpetrators. And how they always talk about it is like, all the poor, traumatized migrants, refugees from Afghanistan, whatever, Somalia, Senegal, from all that countries, and there is no protection of the victims, and there's no real law getting done here. So, and in Germany, the rating system, we sent the movies there, and they didn't give us a rating.
Yeah, he's exactly right in what he's saying there. Anytime you hear this, anytime this conversation is raised in like the mainstream media, what you're always going to hear is, you know, these people are fleeing from war, they're fleeing from this, they're doing this, and, you know, they've got people over here, this is the language they speak, this is where they want to come to. Every single thing that they say is, the empathy is aimed on those people. There's absolutely zero empathy aimed on the people who live in the country they go into. For example, where I'm in the UK, there's absolutely no empathy whatsoever to those people who may not want these people in their country. And let's just say, okay, yeah, it's totally and utterly racist to say that. If the entire country is saying, look, okay, we understand these people's plight, but we don't want them here. The people in that country who pay for the infrastructure of that country, who create the communities and the society there, they absolutely have a right to say that. And there are other countries that do that. But because they're not Western, it's perfectly fine for them to say it. It's only racist when we say it. But no empathy is put towards the women of this country who don't want to live amongst these people. And they have a right not to say that. We've got an area, I think there's a couple that sound similar. I think it's Crowborough, I think it is. And recently they just stuck a asylum centre in this town. And the thing that's almost, I'd say funny, but the thing that's amusing is it's a very, very middle to upper class area. It's very rural. So these people will have been sheltered from all of this stuff because it's mostly been the towns and the cities where they've been putting these people. And I absolutely guarantee you, and we can tell from the way they voted, that the majority of people in those rural areas, they vote for the parties that want to encourage these people to come in because they want to be seen as good people and virtuous. But when they're actually faced with it, when they have these people dumped in their area, suddenly they're out on the street protesting. And unfortunately, the kind of attitude they're getting now is people are going, no, you can suck it. You lot voted for this. You lot were the ones going around with your refugee welcome signs, calling everybody else fascists and Nazis. And now you're getting a taste of it and you don't like it.
And if you don't get any rating, then the streamers, the movie theaters, nobody can show you. Nobody will show you based on, like besides maybe a few like DVD distributors, but Amazon, Apple, whatever.
He's essentially saying that the film was banned in Germany, and they're going to try and ban it everywhere because they absolutely they do not want this message to get out. And I'll tell you what, I hope Piers Morgan sees it because he'll have a little heart attack. He'll have an absolute hissy fit. And I just got so much respect for Uwe Boll, who's doing this, and he's going, yeah, call me whatever names you want to call me. That is the reason why I'm doing this. There was quite a good bit. Somebody, it might even, no, I don't think it was Piers Morgan. It was someone like that tweeted out and said something like, "Oh, this is satire. This is satire. He's doing satire." And Uwe Boll tweeted back and he put, "No, I'm not. I'm deadly serious." It's brilliant.
And he even said he's proud that he did it. He only regrets that he didn't kill more people. So that's where the population goes away from the political parties and whatever drives them into this crazy world. It's that's so far away from how I grew up or how I see things. It really went in this really absurd world we're living in, where some people think it's the best thing ever if we are all turning into an Islamic state in Europe.
Only the people, the puppets, the demons who are funded and paid to say that. No normal person thinks that.
Europe. Let them more in, they get 6 kids, we're getting only 1 kid, so in 25 years they have the majority. And I don't know what the plan is behind that.
It's not just that that's frustrating. A lot of people who are my age, it's that they're not having kids because there's affordability issues. So the people who are in Europe and Americans, they'll have maybe 1 or maybe even no kids. But when people who are coming into the country, refugees from third world countries, they actually get benefits. So the people who are from Europe and America, they're being taxed, even though they may not be able to afford children, to pay for the children that other people are having. And I think, America is very generous. Europe is very, very generous. But at what point do the people in these countries have to say, well, what about us? Can we not actually put our priorities first? For what?
And I always hear that when people say about children, Westerners are saying, oh, it's too expensive for children. And I agree, yeah, obviously, you need a lot of cash to bring another person into this world and to give them a good life. But for me, for the majority of people, I think it's just that there is this feeling that there's just no hope for the future. Like the West is completely and utterly being destroyed, like right before our very eyes. So how cruel is it to bring life into that, knowing what we know and what we're seeing around us? It's just like, it's horrible. It's miserable in the West when we're seeing all these things happening, the way that these elite leaders, these politicians are just spitting down on us and calling us racist, misogynist, fascists, isms and phobes all the time. Oh, great. What a wonderful future that we've got in this country. Let me bring some life into that and share it with another person. No, that's the main reason, because people have always had children, and most people can't afford it. They can't. My parents certainly couldn't. God knows, if they had been thinking, can we afford this? Should we do this? They'd have said no. But they brought life into the world, and my sister as well. So I don't think money is as much of an issue. I think that's the more politically correct answer when people say, oh, I can't afford it. Everything's so expensive. And it is expensive. But I think it's that lack of hope for the future. So anyway, here's me rambling on a bit for a while. Citizen Vigilante, go and watch it. Go and watch it. The message is more important than the sort of low budgetiness of the film, and absolutely take my hat off to the fact that he has got the courage to go out and do this, because this is the hard thing to do. Anybody can go out there and make out they're all super brave when they've got the narrative behind them. So these people, running around saying that men can be women, refugees welcome, down with the far right and all this sort of stuff. They have got the narrative behind them. They've got the protection of the system, the protection of the police. They're not going to lose their jobs for doing this. They're not going to be arrested and beaten up and smashed up by the police and get criminal records, because they are a product of it. They're pushing the government narrative, this destructive narrative. The people that can stand up against that and go out there and put themselves on the line and make a film like this will say, no, you can't change your sex. Men can't be women. We do not want men in women's spaces, in women's toilets, in women's sports. And then they're called every single name under the sun. Those are the courageous people. So yeah, Uwe Boll, Armie Hammer, Citizen Vigilante. Go and check it out.